Beans, beans, the musical fruit.
Beans, beans, the musical fruit.
The more you eat, the more you toot.
The more you toot, the better you feel. So
include your beans in every meal. Wise, wise words. Today we are exploring 5 different beans and see how they're cooked in 5 different countries. If I fart, it's not my fault. Beans are tooty.
Got it.
Speaking of things around the world, I am currently packing for a trip to Italy this summer. Ching! And one thing that I've been doing in preparation for that trip is learning a little bit of Italian. And that is where the sponsor for today's episode, Rosetta Stone, comes in. Rosetta Stone is an amazing language learning app that gives you a ton of different languages to learn. Most of their lessons are 10 minutes or less, so it's not a huge strain on your time to pick up a little bit of a new language. One of my favorite things about Rosetta Stone is how it allows you to practice your pronunciation.
Lei parla inglese?
Lei parla inglese? When you do a good job, you'll hear this noise. And if you need to go again, you'll hear this noise. Learning about different foods is a great way to interact with the world, but I also believe that learning a language is a vital one. When you travel places and you can speak the language, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the culture around you. One of the things that's great about Rosetta Stone is how immersive their languages are. You'll hear native speakers and see images that connect exactly to the language instead of learning with flashcards. Un uomo. And while I'm on the plane flying to Italy, I can continue to practice because you can download Rosetta Stone's lessons and practice offline. So I'm excited because when I get to Italy, I'll at least be able to order from a restaurant and ask for basic directions at this point. Through my channel, you can get a lifetime subscription to the app, which gives you access to all of the different languages for your life. The price is usually $399, but with my discount, you'll get it for $149, which is over 60% off. You'll never have to pay a renewal fee, you'll get exclusive content, and as your language skills improve, you'll never have to worry about your subscription expiring. Sì, io parlo italiano. I'm leaving a link in the description where you can download the app, and let's get started on the bean episode.
Hi Beryl, my name's Leah and I'm from a little bit south of San Francisco in California in the USA, but my family is originally from the islands of Kefalonia and Kossos in Greece. And the dish that I'd like to share with you today is called Gigantes, which are basically giant white beans that are cooked in a tomato sauce with lots of herbs and spices and with crumbled feta cheese on top, and it gets baked in the oven. I think that it represents how we can take simple ingredients and turn them into something that's really delicious and filling and hearty, even though it doesn't have any meat in it. This dish also reminds me of my mom because it's one of her favorites, and the recipe that I'm sharing with you today is actually her recipe.
I think one of my favorite things about Greek food is how a lot of the recipes start out very basic, and they all also end with feta. This smells so good though. Just like, basic veggies, and I'm using up all the celery in my fridge, so that's an added bonus.
Every family has their own recipe, and it's really easy to adjust the ingredients to your own taste. It also makes me feel connected to my family and my culture every time that I eat it or every time that I cook it. I think that people should try this dish because it's unique.
Eagle eyes would have spotted that, yes, I spelled chili wrong in chili flakes.
I don't think a lot of people have tried giant lima beans before.
This bean started like this, and now it's like this. That's so cool. No wonder it's called Gigantes. It's huge. Ah, my bean!
And of course, it's also really delicious.
Real question, who thinks that this bay leaf is adding anything? Not me. I think it's just taking up space, but sure, we'll add it. Long live the bay leaf. Bay leaf for president.
This is a dish that I think most Greek people grew up eating, or at least are familiar with.
Beans in the oven. Not a saying, but whatever.
And really comforting, especially if you eat it with fresh bread. I really love this dish because it's warm and comforting, and it just reminds me of home and family dinners growing up. I really hope you enjoy it, and Kallia Orexi.
This is one of my favorite dishes. I've eaten this at a Greek restaurant before, but I've never attempted to make it. Gigantes beans are just glorious, and I love how big they got. Cooking them from dried was very cool. They got giant. Who would have thunk it? All right, I need everything. I need the feta, I need the tomato, I need the bean. It's a perfect bite. Yeah, it's a perfect bite. Wow. The tomato with the beans is so freaking good. But anytime you top anything with feta, for me, it just becomes 10,000 times better, which is why Greek food has a special place in my heart.
I just feel like there's no such thing as too much feta cheese on top.
I think one of the most interesting things about this dish is the ingredients are very humble. There's nothing over the top about it, but it comes together to make this complex flavored dish that feels pretty extravagant, to be honest. The beans are big and creamy, and when you bite into them, they have this meaty texture. And then the tomatoes and the onions and the carrots have this beautiful base, and everything works together to make this very harmonious flavor. Harmonious? Balanced? It's just really good. With the bread, it's even better. Man, it's a good bean. It's a good bean. Did you all know that I have a new show on PBS Food? It's about two people swapping recipes from their culture to learn a little bit more about one another.
I'm excited to explore how it's different.
Have you ever had Armenian food? I'm a part of it. We had a whole lot of fun using a lot of you subscribers. I hope that you check it out. The link is in the description.
Great.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I live in Boston in the US. The dish that I want to share today is red beans and rice. Red beans and rice, I think from the name, is pretty self-explanatory. They're red beans, typically kidney beans.
I literally always buy kidney beans canned, so this is a first for me of rehydrating them. It's a lot more work. I wonder what the difference is. Oopsies, bean down.
That are simmered for a long time, either on the stove or in a slow cooker with what we call the Holy Trinity. So onions, green bell pepper, and celery.
Oh my God, it is so hot in here. I'm dying. Leia, get some.
Oh God, thank you. New York summer.
Smoky meat of some sort. Some people use ham hocks, but my family uses smoked turkey parts. We're gonna put some andouille sausage in there and some spices.
I just want to say, I am gonna finish this celery stalk, and I think this might be the first time in my life that I finished an entire thing of celery before it got really sad and wilty and gross. So, pretty proud of myself.
Cook it down for a really long time, and then it's served over a bed of rice. I love how easy it is to prepare, and it makes so much food all at once. I have leftovers for days. It's something that I try to make at least monthly, and it's so easy, so cheap. It's a comfort food for sure. The dish is really one of those stick to your bones kind of things and keeps you full for a really long time. It's thick and rich and creamy and the perfect accompaniment to a hot bowl of rice.
This is pretty similar to the Greek dish. We just don't have carrots in it, but I think like in general, the Holy Trinity of bases are onion, celery, carrots or peppers, something like that. This smells really good though. The garlic makes everything so fragrant. Oh.
I think that it's a pretty common dish amongst Black Americans or the Ceylon people who are of Black African American descent, usually from the southern United States. My family's from the deep south, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana.
I have never seen a smoked turkey part before. I guess it does smell smoked, but not the typical type of smoked. I'm really interested to see what this is gonna do.
And we're part of the Great Migration West, and there were lots of Black people across America now who make this dish. I love making it. Food is one of my favorite ways to connect with my culture. My mom and grandma taught me how to make red beans and rice, along with lots of other soul food staples like gumbo and crawfish etouffee. It was definitely a staple and has always been a staple during times of scarcity. So Black folks have always been able to rely on this dish to provide a filling meal that would last very long without spending too much money. Throughout history, I think, like many soul food dishes, it's remained a symbol of resilience and perseverance. Each family has its own twist on the dish and how they like to prepare it. I'm so excited to share a piece of Black American culinary history with you all, and I hope that you love it as much as I do.
I feel like in general there aren't a lot of typically American dishes, but red beans and rice definitely falls into that category, which makes it really special. There's so much seasoning in this, I'm very excited. Oh my God, whoa, that's spicy. I guess between the cayenne and the Creole seasoning, oh my gosh, I love it. The smoked turkey wing is really coming through. It's given this whole dish this beautiful, smoky, rich flavor. And the Louis sausage is so nice. The only other time that I've ever had it is in gumbo. I feel like this is a sausage that packs so much flavor. It's not boring at all, and it's way better than a spicy Italian. If you're a spicy Italian fan, I'm sorry. The kidney beans are so creamy. Everything in this dish is really creamy. The base of it, oh, my mouth is like a little bit on fire. I need the rice. Every time I think my spice tolerance is up, somebody comes along with a dish and is like, check this out. And I'm like, oh boy, we still have a ways to go. This is definitely one of those dishes where I could just absent-mindedly just keep spooning it into my mouth. I just love the creamy texture of the beans, the spicy flavor of it, the richness of the andouille sausage, and the smokiness of the turkey. It is just a perfect confluence of textures and flavors. And it's very homey. Kidney beans can do a lot, and in this dish, they're really pulling their weight, and the flavor of them is coming through, and their creaminess is coming through. I love it. I love, love, love it. And I'm excited that I have leftovers because this is my dinner.
Hi Beryl, my name is Francisca and I'm from Santiago de Chile, and the dish I want to talk about is called Porotos con Riendas, or beans with reins in English. And this dish is a soup or a stew made with white bean called Poroto tortula that only grows here in Chile, but it's very similar to cranberry beans. It also has yellow squash.
I want to know if this is a hot take. The recipe is for 1/4 of an onion. I'm just going to do a 1/2 an onion. When you cook onion down, I just don't think you can really overdo the onion unless like you go crazy, but 1/4 of an onion to 1/2 an onion. Am I crazy? Is this a hot take? Is this like the butter thing? Is this like the bay leaf thing? I don't know. Honk. Okay.
Onions, spaghetti pasta, and tons of paprika that we call ají de color. It's also normally topped with chorizo or longaniza. We believe it's called like that because it reminded people of horse reins. This is a very comforting and filling dish.
Cheese.
But it's also soft and aromatic. Porotos are a staple of Chilean cuisine, and this version is a favorite winter dish.
I'm about to anger a lot of people, but I do want to say that the recipe, and I will show you, calls for this. A million Italians just cried across the land. Sorry.
It's perfect for when it's cold and rainy and you need something to warm you up. Every family has their own version of this dish.
My cooktop ran out of gas, so we're cooking on my real stove. Shouldn't have run out of gas. What you gonna do?
I have very young memories of my grandma making these in my childhood home. She on the stove cooking, the radio on the back, and the rain. It's a show of love and care, so this dish especially reminds me of that. I think people should try this dish because it's one of Chile's favorite dishes.
There's something about this that is kind of giving me like hot dog soup vibes. Maybe it's because the beans kind of look like hot dogs, but then there is the chorizo on top. The spaghetti broken in half. I know people are gonna be mad in the comments about that one. Come on, roll up spaghetti. Even though it's short, it's still long. That chorizo is good. I love the taste of chorizo. This is hard because it's kind of like a soup, but then you've also got these big noodles. I think the flavor of these beans, I've never had these cranberry beans before. I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know if I love the flavor of it. And in general, I think I even said earlier, like all beans are kind of the same. This bean has a really strong taste. And it's hard for me to describe what it is, but it's kind of got like a slightly like bitter and thick taste to it. It really sticks in your mouth. I mean, this soup is thick, and I wonder if some of that came from the beans. A lot of it obviously came from the butternut squash. But I feel like the butternut squash is not totally balancing out the flavor of this strong bean. I do like the pasta in here with the chorizo. I wonder if the bean is just not a bean for me, which is really surprising.
Hello everyone, my name is Irina and I am from the Dominican Republic, and the dish I want to share with you is called Guandules con Coco, which translates to pigeon peas with coconut in English. Pigeon peas, which are a type of legume, are stewed in a coconut sauce that is made creamy.
Irina recommended that I find a Cubanelle pepper, which in New York City at least was pretty easy to find, but this cannot be substituted for a green pepper. The flavor is really different. This has a lot more flavor, a better flavor, if you will.
By adding squash and aromatic. It's more on the realm of home food, but at least in my house, it was more of a little bit of a special dish, so we wouldn't eat it all the time.
This calls for 2 cups of West Indian pumpkin, which we here call kabocha squash. So this one was pretty easy to find because it's a common squash here in the United States. Squash. Squash. That feels good to say. Squash. Scoop out the guts.
Dominican gastronomy is very reliant on bean dishes. So everyone in the Dominican Republic is gonna have stewed beans with rice for lunch several times a week. When I was a child, I found it a little tiresome to be constantly eating white rice with beans. Although my mom did try to switch it up, she would kill me if I don't mention that. But I never had a problem having pigeon peas. So pigeon peas are a little bit nutty, a little bit earthy, a little bit smoky, and in this dish, the coconut sauce really complements all of that and really brings out how special the pigeon peas are.
Like, are you supposed to peel squash with a fruit peeler? I don't know. I think this is gonna be fine. I think everything is going to be fine. Ooh, that's hard. Hello. That's what she said!
When people think of the Caribbean, people think of holiday destination, they think of beautiful beaches, which we do have all of that, yes. But we are so much more. The Caribbean is such an interesting region. Caribbean is a melting pot of all of these similar cultures that were forced together. The culture of the indigenous people that inhabited the islands originally. We have the culture of the different European colonizers.
Okay, we drip dropped everywhere. Drippity droppity. It wasn't that bad.
Actually, the word for pigeon pea in Spanish, which can be guandul or gandul, it's thought to come from West African languages.
Oh, that's not what I thought a pigeon pea looked like. What? Wait, what kind of cognitive dissonance is happening here? These pigeon peas are green. These pigeon peas are brown. I'm very confused. Like, this is very clearly a green colored bean, and these are very clearly not green. I mean, it's not expired, is it? No, 2026. All right, well, fraud. All right, we're moving on.
The West African influence is evidenced everywhere, and I'm very proud of that. The history of the Caribbean is very sad at times, but it is our history and I think we must honor it. I really love food and cooking. I think it's the best way to engage with other cultures, and it's an excellent dish to try because it's really easy to make, and the flavor of the coconut and the pigeon peas is just really, really interesting and unlike anything I've ever tasted from other cultures.
This is a really interesting soup slash stew for me because it has a lot of the kind of Caribbean vibes, but then elements of it that are really different to me. I like the use of the squash in this. Oh my gosh, this is delicious. Whoa. Mmm. The coconut milk is not too strong a flavor. I feel like it's just making the whole thing really creamy. I liked that all of this kind of happened in one pot, and it made the whole cooking process so much easier. I did buy the pigeon peas in a can, and like, it was so weird how they weren't green, even though on the jar it says that they were green. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know what to say about this.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
False marketing.
Why would you call it a green bean if it's like literally a brown bean? But I don't know if I've ever had a pigeon pea before. They have a very soft taste, not as strong as like a kidney bean or a white bean, but the meat inside of it is kind of typical to any other type of bean. Sometimes it's hard to tell beans apart, but beans are a product of their place, you know? One of the issues I did have in making the soup was there was too much water. When I put it in my food processor, it was just oozing out, which, you know, wasn't great, but it ended up being okay. I just cooked it down for a while, and that's what brought me back to a stew form. So if you're gonna make it and you do end up with it being too watery, like me, just be patient and let it cook down. I think I let it cook down for around 15 minutes, and then Bob's your uncle, it was great. The one thing that I'm missing from this is a little bit more brightness. I wanna add some lemon juice, but I'm out of lemons. But I do think that would be something that I would add personally as a sour lover. I love the squash, so much sweetness in there. I think this dish is amazing. I also think this is one of those dishes where the next day the flavors are gonna develop and it's gonna be even better. This is a winner.
Hi, my name is Maymun Abukar. I live in Toronto, Canada, and my family and I are originally from Somalia. The dish I want to share with you is called Cambuulo, which is a traditional Somali dinner. However, this can be served as a dessert. Cambuulo is well-cooked red Azuki beans mixed with butter or sesame oil and sugar. The beans, which are called digid, can take up to a few hours to finish cooking when left on the stove at low temperature.
I've never seen an Azuki bean before whole. I've only ever had it in a red bean paste. I'm curious how they're gonna cook up.
I like this dish because it's something I don't often eat, but I enjoy on occasion, and it reminds me of family visiting when I was a child, and therefore it's a very nostalgic meal for me. Cambuulo is a very popular dish in Somalia and can be made with many variations depending on the preference of the person preparing it. The dish can either be sweet and dessert-like, or it can be savory, served with meat or stew. However, my favorite way to eat cambuulo is in a dessert variation.
The recipe said that after 25 minutes, all the water would be absorbed, but it honestly took more like an hour. And the beans are still kind of hard, but I think this is the right texture. So now we're just gonna add butter and sugar.
And as a result, being a Somali Canadian, it's something that brings me closer to my culture. And it's a dish that brings people closer together in the Somali community. I love the color and taste that the red Azuki beans bring to the dish.
Stir constantly is my least favorite wording in any recipe. This is 10 minutes of stirring constantly. I'm not giving it my all, but I am doing it.
The sweet and nutty notes blend together well with the butter and sugar, which creates a great tasting dessert. If you want to try a traditional Somali dish, then give Cambuulo a try. Thank you.
We're ending with a bean dessert with Azuki beans, which I have had before, but never whole. I'm definitely curious how this is gonna taste. This is something that's probably quite outside of my typical palate. You can really taste the nutmeg. I feel like nutmeg is a really powerful spice, so a little goes a long way. I feel like the beans could be a little bit softer. Maybe I didn't cook them long enough. I cooked them for over an hour and then 10 minutes in the pot, but maybe these could have used the pressure cooker. Although the bite is not bad. The sugar and butter went a long way to make these not bitter. I'm just gonna try it and see what it tastes like on its own. That's a little bitter. It's a little bitter. I feel like this is not a bean that you just eat on its own. So good that we're adding butter and sugar. The sweetness of the sugar and butter combined with the kind of bitterness of the bean makes this dessert actually that perfect balance of sweet and not too sweet. The more I eat it, the more I feel like I like it. I just think that I didn't cook the beans enough, which is a bummer because I feel like I cooked them forever. This is a really different take on a bean dessert, so I like that it's expanding my horizons and looking at the bean in a really, really different way. I also like that I'm learning a lot more about Azuki beans because, like I said, I really just don't know that much about them. So this is a dish that's challenged my notion of beans and also challenged my palate because it's something totally different. I hope you enjoyed this episode of all of these different beans. I'm leaving all the recipes in the description. Don't forget to check out my new show on PBS, which is linked as well in the description. I'm gonna leave you with 2 more episodes in our culinary universe, chickpeas and one-pot meals, because I use that pressure cooker a lot in this episode. I will see you all next week.